A very good morning and a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us today for this third session of the CISC Inspire Career Exploration series. We are here today to talk about the careers in humanities, liberal arts, and commerce. The session is titled Beyond the Books, where humanities meet the world. We have with us the expert panelist for the session, Mr. Abhishek Gupta. Mr. Abhishek Gupta, as you know, is a distinguished alumnus of the University of California, Los Angeles, and he's one of Asia's leading career counselors. He has a remarkable track record of counseling over a lakh students and conducting more than 1,200 workshops. The ones he's conducting for us are adding to that number as well, touching more lives as we go ahead with this. His students have consistently secured admissions and scholarships at top universities, including Harvard, Stanford, UC Berkeley, UCLA, and many, many more. That's the last session of the series, I believe, when we talk about international admissions, isn't it? So, a prolific speaker and a thought leader, he was honored with the Times Education Icon Award in 2019, and he continues to be a strong and influential voice in the field of college and career counseling. You can add parent counseling also to that, Mr. Abhishek. Thank you once again for joining us here on behalf of Dr. Joseph Emmanuel, the Chief Executive and Secretary, and all of us here at CISC. We welcome you to the platform.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bhavna. Really appreciate you conducting these sessions with so much of motivation and enthusiasm.
Yes, we get the reports. We get the pictures where the schools have got the students ready in the auditoriums and the children are watching us. And I do feel, Abhishek, we have a responsibility to fulfill. And with the same thought in mind, I think we'll begin with the session. So, humanities and liberal arts, these disciplines, are they becoming more relevant today? Uh, in and how is it that the relevance is increasing, or what is the cause and effect between the coming in of AI and humanities liberal arts career?
Very, very pertinent question. And I think it is the best question to start the session with because till about the time when we were in school, it was said that if you're an intelligent student, take sciences. If you are an okay student, take commerce. And if you have taken humanities, tumhara bhagwan hi bhala karega. And that narrative has completely changed when you talk to the corporates today, especially if you look at the job data of World Economic Forum or the best of the statutory organizations, or if you look at the requirements of the corporate, because eventually we want to prepare as educators, we want to prepare students not just for a subject, but for a career and for life, and that too for a happy life. So I think humanities has become more and more relevant today because with AI coming in, all the technical tasks are getting automated. Now, in such a scenario where TCS and Infosys are saying that 30 to 50% of computer engineers will lose their jobs,
Yeah.
Microsoft firing 6,000 computer engineers, um, AI being able to code, debug, and do the quality check, right? In such a scenario, humanities has become very critical. Human skills, empathy, ethics, communication, research, judgment, sociology, the knowledge of society and human behavior, all of them have become very critical. I was reading a research report by World Economic Forum which said 6 of the 10 topmost futuristic jobs are completely dependent on human and soft skills. And that's where the essence lies, that humanities is the best possible domain to have a human understanding. And if I even go back, let's say 15 years back, 20 years back, when Steve Jobs made a statement, he said, Apple is not a technology company. Apple is a liberal arts and humanities company which blends technology, right?
Oh,
Uh, the fact of the matter is that the skills which we are talking about, the 21st century skills that we are talking about, all of them are actually best taught or learned through humanities. Now, humanities can help a student guide the technology well. So today we are talking about ethical use of AI. Now, ethical use of AI can only be done or researched more about a humanities student who understands AI or a humanities student who sits with an AI expert. In short, I'm going to say this, that those of you who are thinking of taking humanities or those of the parents who have a question mark, should I allow a child to take humanities? Please go for it. Subjects like sociology, psychology, these subjects are going to be too much in demand in an era which is impacted by AI. Technical skills, the requirement of that is going to go down. It's already going down. All the data reports are saying that, and only the human skills are going up. So absolutely relevant in the age of AI.
It's very interesting, that last time we were discussing that when computers came in, people were thinking, oh, human working force is going to become redundant. Now the same kind of concerns are there with AI. But we've moved ahead. So when AI came in, everybody said science karo bhai, science karo, because AI is coming and you need to be updated. And but today what you are saying is a different narrative. It's the humanities, it is the ethics, the human skills, the empathy that matters, the understanding of how the human race can think for itself, plan for itself, and move ahead. These are the things I believe that are becoming more and more important.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, look at the CEOs of the top-notch tech companies. Now, we know that one of the most, so-called highest market cap company today is NVIDIA. They make GPU processors for AI, right? The CEO, John Hussain, he recently made a video and he posted it. He said that if somebody would have asked me to do computer engineering or a technical learning today, I would say a no, simply because the requirement of human programmers or coders or technologists is going to go away. I mean, we're going to be able to program with simple, basic English. And that's great because now you are democratizing technology. Today, only coders could code, but with AI, a normal person like you and me could code, right?
Yeah.
And every day newer platforms are coming where a non-techie can actually code. So essentially technical skills, while they might remain relevant for some time, but the human skills which humanities teaches is the need of the hour to actually grow and have a successful career.
Yeah. So bringing this to us to the next question here, what are some of the subject combinations that are good? Like in humanities, also they are offering many, many subjects. But according to you, what are the strategic subject combinations that would help students, go ahead when they take them up at the high school level?
So the best part about humanities is that there can be plethora of mix and matches because humanities can blend with any other subject, right? I
Mhm.
mean, you can blend human skills with any career. Every
Mm.
career would require human skills, right? However, because you asked me some pertinent subject combinations, I'll tell you history, political science, legal studies, or law. I think
Okay.
it's an amazing combination for somebody who wants to make a career in public policy, go into civil services like UPSC, go into law-based careers. So three very, very critical subjects there. Another subject that comes to my mind is economics, maths, and sociology. Now, most of the times we feel that a humanities student cannot get into a futuristic career like data science. Absolutely incorrect. Because data science, data will actually be used to uplift the humankind. The data will actually be used to make life more simpler and easy. Data will be used to make climate more sustainable. Data will be used to make society more livable, right? So if you actually look at all of this, when you combine economics with maths with sociology, you get into public policy again, you get into the developmental sectors, you get into research, you get into urban planning, you get into data analysis and policy making. Again, a lot of scope, economics, maths, and sociology. One which is very, very close to my heart is psychology. And I always say the day you understand human behavior, that's the day you start climbing the ladder of success. Now you combine psychology with, English communication. You go into consumer behavior. You go into marketing. You go into advertising. You combine psychology with economics. You go into developmental economics. You combine psychology. Let's say because you told me that we can also talk about a little bit of commerce. Now, commerce students, if they are allowed to take, let's say, commerce with psychology, behavioral finance, an amazingly high paying career, right? Similarly, if there is a PCB student who can take one humanities subject, which is psychology, right? You can go into neuroscience. Even if
Yes.
you do not have biology, you can go into sports psychology. You can go into mental health. I always say that the biggest problem in today's time is the mental health situation of our youth. And if we are able to deal with the mental health problems, the demand is huge, the providers are less. So you actually have a great opportunity to make money as well, as long as you are being ethical in what you're doing. So amazing
Hmm.
professions. I
Hmm.
at this juncture for psychology, I would say धीरे धीरे human race pagal ho rahi hai. We are getting so obsessed by this little gadget that eventually we will need right psychology experts to help us come out of even this gadget, right? So very important. Another one which you and me were talking about last time, and you said a lot of questions are coming in. How can we combine geography,
Hmm.
right, with something? So I would say if you have a little bit of interest in computer science and you have a lot of interest in geography, then you can again go into environmental technology as a humanities student. You can go into environmental sciences. You can go into GIS mapping. The Google map that we use is a classic example of geography combined with technology, right? So very important. One more that I would want to add, and we can end there because I know I can go on and on for 2 hours on this subject. But one more that I want to add is English and media studies. If I'm not too sure if CISC is offering media studies as a subject or
It
only
is. It is. We offer mass media and communication at
amazing.
ninth and 10th, 11th and 12th.
Wonderful, because this could be a deadly combination if I talk in the Gen Z lingo, right?
Hmm.
Amazingly deadly combination hoga ye, because you're opening doors from literature to corporate. You're opening doors of journalism, advertising, film and media, design, content creation, and we know it everybody from a small medium influencer to a large corporate. Everybody needs these people. So I think very important to actually play around with subjects, and very important to understand that humanities is the only domain which can be combined and clubbed with any other subject.
Yeah. So, Abhishek, I think we'll take up a few questions that are coming in on the channel. Uh, Shrishti Shreya, she has written in saying that can a child do law as well as UPSC simultaneously by pursuing arts? I think you've already answered that question, but
I mean,
yes.
what one can do it. See, the fact of the matter is, UPSC is not a career. Law is a career. UPSC leads to a career called civil services.
Hmm.
Okay? UPSC is an exam. Now, can I prepare for UPSC along with studying law? Of course, you can. Why can't
Hmm.
you? I mean, it just depends. Some of these questions, I would request the parents to understand. Some of these things are more about time management than can I or can I not. There is nothing that you cannot in today's time. If your college is not giving you an opportunity, there are enough online mediums you can learn from. If people have to learn, they can learn from YouTube for that matter. There has to be time management and there has to be that jazba to learn, right? But yeah, law and UPSC can definitely happen together.
No, all right. Thank you. And another question coming from Mamta. Would it be helpful if we could, okay, they're wanting you to talk about certain career options in the field of commerce, but without mathematics.
Okay. First and foremost, I know everybody hates me for saying this, but I'm gonna say it again. That is me. I am here. Dr. Bhavna is here to tell you what is right for you. Sometimes we feel that what is right for us is what we want to hear, but that's not the truth. The truth is, what is right is right. What you want to hear may not be right. Um, if you have not taken the decision of leaving mathematics, please consider this again. Can you keep mathematics till grade 12? That's my first statement. However, if you have already taken the decision of not keeping mathematics, look at careers like media and communication. Look at careers in journalism, advertising, mass media, social media, content creation. All of them are byproducts of media and communication. And what you need is a good knowledge of psychology and good knowledge of management, which is marketing. Look at careers in international relations and public policy, but more through the research route, not through the data route. Because the moment you get through the data route, you will need a little bit of mathematics or statistics. Good part is in CISCE curriculum, I know that you can drop mathematics, but you can still take statistics. As long as you can take statistics, you are still in touch with mathematics. Okay. And that's great for careers in international policy and international relations and public policy. Third one that I can tell you for humanities students, which would be very less dependent on mathematics, would be hospitality and travel and tourism. If you can look at that, hospitality, travel, tourism kind of careers, you would not be requiring to do a lot of mathematics. I think these are the top three that comes to my mind, Dr. Bhavna, right now.
Yeah, yeah. Abhishek, I would also like to take this opportunity to tell them that we have introduced applied mathematics as a subject from this academic session, like the one which we started in 25, with the purpose, that we've added in, we've removed certain units from the core mathematics and we've replaced them with the units that are relevant for data science and data analytics, and more relevant for students who are studying commerce or even students who are doing biology, but they want to go into the field of research. So for all of those, who find, the core mathematics to be really heavy, can always opt for the applied mathematics also at this level and keep the mathematics, as Abhishek has rightly pointed out. A question coming in from a parent saying that my child is keen on doing maths, economics, and psychology. So he's not sure what is the fourth subject he can take. So fourth subject, maths, economics, psychology, another subject that would be beneficial for him.
Any that the child wants.
Hmm.
Any. Because, see, please understand, maths, economics, and psychology is itself the most wholesome combination. Now,
Hmm.
after this is one, I would understand English is compulsory and mandatory. So you need one more subject. Pick up any subject that the child wants, not because it's easy, but because of the interest. So I would personally say take physical education kind of subject only when the child is interested, not because it's easy.
Hmm.
But if there is any other subject that child is interested in that the school is willing to offer, you do not have to worry because that subject is more for additional knowledge, not for the career. The career will eventually come out from economics, mathematics, and psychology.
And Vinita ji, in case your child is go in for class 11th next year, we are introducing entrepreneurship as one of the subjects in class 11th and 12th. So I think, and entrepreneurship is not discipline specific. It's an interdisciplinary subject. Anyone can take it. So you can go ahead and try that. And another question coming in from a very interesting question on criminology from Joyjeet Dhar. For a career in criminology and forensic science, what combinations of subjects are best suitable at school level?
Ideally, I would say PCB with psychology.
Yes.
That would be my suggestion because for forensic science you would need knowledge of chemistry, biology. But for criminology, what you need is psychology. Criminology is understanding of the mind of the criminal. Criminology is understanding the patterns, why the crimes are happening. Criminology is not just solving the crime, it is also finding out the intent behind the crime to help the detecting agencies, to help the police and the protecting agencies. So if it is criminology, which is more like a law related career with psychology, I would say take humanities. But if you want to keep both the options open, both for forensic sciences as well as criminology, then I would say PCB with psychology.
Thank you, Abhishek. There is a myth, that the careers in humanities are not paying well. They don't pay well.
Mhm.
So your thoughts on that?
I think again, this is called lack of information and taking decisions today on the data of the past. We are in 2025. We cannot be taking decisions for our future generation on the data of 1990s, Dr. Bhavna. I mean, that's criminal on them. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not being fair to our own children. I would say it's a myth. Humanities do not pay well. Reality is, in humanities, salaries rise very rapidly and much faster than STEM. Actually, if you look at the New York Times report, and anybody can Google it, it would say by the face of it, it looks that STEM students start on a higher salary. But when you look at the journey of a humanities student over a period of 7 years of experience, they tend to catch up and even beat the STEM students because at a higher level, when the roles are like leadership, empathy, critical thinking required, strategic decision making required, that's where the STEM student lags behind because you cannot be a techie all throughout your life, right? After a point of time, 3, 4 years, you become a manager, and now you need human skills, and that's
Yeah.
where you tend to surpass the STEM students. So I would say humanities graduates move into leadership, management, consulting roles much faster than the technological or techies. And this is a complete myth, and you need to get out of it and focus on the data. There are enough roles in policy, media, law, corporate strategy, decision making, which offer excellent packages. Yes, a piece of advice: if you are looking towards going into an NGO sector, if you are looking towards going into the social sector, that's where the starting salary could be a little lesser. But then you are getting into these sectors for impact, not money. However, in those sectors also, once you make it to United Nations, Red Cross, and those kind of bodies, the salary levels are same as the corporate or even better than the corporate.
Yes. One of the sectors, that Abhishek, we can also talk about is education. With the NEP coming in, there is a boom in the sector of education, careers in education, edtech. And again, as you say, it is linked to data, use of data, for making policies and all of those things. But there is an interdisciplinarity to it again, because, yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll tell you. See, I'm the founder of an edtech company called Guide AI.
yeah.
And throughout the day, I'll tell you honestly, there is a reason. If my co-founder is listening to this, I'm so sorry, Alok. He's a techie, he's the CTO. I am very sorry, Alok, for saying this. But the fact of the matter is, there is a reason why I am the CEO and he's the CTO. I am not a
Hmm.
techie.
Hmm.
Okay. I do not know coding. I do not
Hmm.
understand C of coding,
Hmm.
right? But he understands coding really well. The ideas come from me, the strategy comes
Yes.
from me. He builds the technology which can scale up. Can we both live without each other? No.
Hmm.
But if you actually see, the technology can be built somewhere. What cannot be built outside is your own vision and strategy.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
if you look at edtech,
Yes.
I need knowledge of education, I need data points of education. I need to have empathy because any product of edtech should be able to help in the learning outcomes of a student. So, with the way edtech is opening up, with the way technology is aiding education, and especially it will create personalization of education, right?
Yes.
I think there'll be humongous scope for humanities students in the field of education and edtech.
Yes, yes. And here at CISC, we are continuously working with pedagogists, we are working with educators, educationists, we are working with assessment experts, and we are working with the techie guys, to provide solutions to the new age classroom. So the digital natives, we call them the AI natives, the students that we have now. The solutions that are required at classroom are also based on, the digital solutions need to be made. And there we see that, yes, as you correctly said, the tech guy is doing his work, but the ideas about pedagogy, about assessments, all of that is coming from the educationists, from our teachers.
And learning
So,
outcomes, how
yes,
can I improve the performance of every single child, and
yes,
not only make him happy but improve his performance academically as well? That
yes,
only can come from an educator.
yes, 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 yeah. So great that we touched on that. Some interesting questions coming up, but before that, I want you to clarify and be able to differentiate for every one of us what is the difference between humanities and liberal arts? What are these new courses in liberal arts? Is there a difference? Why are they called the liberal arts?
What is the difference between India and Bharat? Is there a difference? There is no difference.
Yeah.
The fact is, when you are when you are talking at a particular forum, honestly speaking, I'll tell you what. If I'm talking to a forum of educators, I would say liberal arts more than humanities. If I'm
Hmm.
talking to parents and students, I'll say humanities.
Okay.
For me, as a counselor, I do not differentiate. Having said that, liberal arts is a terminology which basically means that your child is free to study what they want to study. But so does the humanities allow your child to do that. So when we say liberal arts today, it kind of sounds cool, but nobody knows the beginning of liberal arts actually happened in India. It never happened in the West. Nalanda was the first university in the world where you could study biology with music. And world used to come to Nalanda to study music therapy. World used to come to us. Nalanda was the first place where you could study public policy with music. Can you imagine that? So we started our culture very liberal. Unfortunately, the colonization took away our knowledge, and now we are being served the same things which we used to teach the world. That's a different thing altogether. Having said that, whenever a university allows your child to take a major and combine with any minor that you can think of. So, for example, I did a major in psychology, but I can do a minor in media and communication, or I can do a minor in law, or I can do a minor in something else, maybe business, maybe computer science. Whenever your university allows that, that's called liberal education.
Okay.
The word art is could be confusing for some parents. And Dr. Bhavna, I'll just take 30 seconds here. Ladies and gentlemen, please understand this. And if you do your research well, you will understand this, where I'm coming from. Arts is not humanities. Every subject is arts. If you actually go to the top-notch universities of the world, the departments are called Department of Letters, Arts, and Sciences. Biology is arts, biotechnology is science. You have to understand, mathematics is arts, okay, computational mathematics is science. So every subject is part of an art domain, and liberal arts means that your child can study humanities with sciences, sciences with commerce, commerce with humanities, whatever combination you can think of. So please do not get confused. NEP has made this possible, that today we have great universities in India, like we have outside India, where you can study a major and a minor. Central universities are starting a major and a minor program, or a double major program, or a dual program. IIM Bangalore has recently started, it's in management school, but just started a degree in economics and data science, again, liberal arts. So I don't think there's anything to be confused, ma'am.
Yep. So, Abhishek, a question that is coming from the parents is that can this call be taken once the student is out of school? Because they are saying that, do we really need to study these subjects in class 11th and 12th, and then go or we can study something else, and then after class 11th and 12th take this call whether we want to do humanities and liberal arts. I think that comes from the point that you can do that with that, but not with science.
I think theoretically you can,
Yep.
but should we not, is an ethical question. Why am I making somebody study something when they are not interested in it, or they don't have the aptitude for it, or they don't have the skill for it? Are you as a parent still trying to go back to the 1990s thought process, where you're saying school to science से ही करना है because उसी के बाद options खुले रहेंगे? I will only continue sciences in school because the options will only be open after sciences. Absolutely incorrect. Absolutely not true. So maybe the best part would be, please first identify, because this situation tells me that your child is confused or you are confused. Find out the career that your child is ideally suited for. Find out the degree that your child needs to go in. And school is a perfect base and a space where your child can actually experience subjects in a very safe environment. Your teachers know your child. In university, do you think any teacher will come and give a personal feedback to the child? No. Schools are doing it, and CISC's schools are known to give personal feedback. So I don't understand why would we do that. But yes, theoretically, the answer is a yes, ma'am.
I really want all of us to understand this, that, when we find that students who are interested in pursuing higher education in medicine and engineering, we start working with them as early, sometimes at as sixth class and eighth standard,
Absolutely.
But when we have children coming up to us and telling us they're interested in history, they're interested in geopolitics, they're interested in sociology, economics, psychology, we don't take them seriously. We say, oh, you don't know better. Right now, you're just finding them easy. You're just finding them interesting. And we make them do sciences. And then after that, the point comes when, and we need to realize this as parents. As a parent, I've realized it. And this is a really, really, candid confession from my end, that one needs to be very sure. Why? Because it's not easy to get into humanities and liberal arts also. It is more difficult. You should look at the CUET. You should look at the CSAS, the DU allocations that are happening, and the cutoffs that are there. Students who decided to take humanities, stick with humanities throughout their 9th to 12th, they are the ones who are able to get the coveted courses. So you need to make that decision and stick to that.
Absolutely, ma'am. I think, again, it's lack of information. It's, again, lack of understanding of how the world is evolving. One needs to understand that, the fact of the matter is, the moment the child says, I'm going to be an engineer or a doctor, you feel it's safe. And the moment your child says that I will take humanities, you feel it's unsafe, which is not true. Please wake up. Please do your research well. I'll take the liberty. All of you can go to my Instagram handle. It's called abhishekgupta.coach. Just yesterday, I made a reel on it, which said that, why computer engineers, the average salary of a fresher computer engineer is 25,000 rupees a month, and it has not changed in last 15 years. There has been no inflation has gone up by 50%, but the average salary of a computer engineer has stayed stagnant because you're producing 15 lakh engineers every year. It's at saturation point. What we are not producing is great public policy specialists. What we are not producing is great ethics consultant. What we are not producing is great psychologists. And that is where the demand is. And I do not know why when would we realize as parents that humanities is still a sure shot guarantee to a corporate higher level job. Technology is not.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. This you just mentioned, we're speaking about geopolitics and all. So somebody had asked this question that if my child wants to go into geopolitics, what is the path towards that?
Okay, so again, multiple parts. There is a program which got really famous after Oxford. It's called PPE. Go and research about that program. This program is about philosophy, public policy, and ethics. Okay. And if you study that, it's a great entry point into geopolitics because geopolitics is not dependent only on politics. It's dependent on economics, it's dependent on culture, it's dependent on history, it's dependent on historical relationships between two countries, and so on and so forth. So one can study PPE kind of programs, and they are now even available in India in certain new age liberal universities. The other is international relations. Once you study international relations, and alongside, if you can study history, because history of certain pockets of the world is very, very diverse and very different. So when you go into geopolitics, only one thing that you need to keep in mind is you want to become a specialist of a region. Which region is it? Because you cannot be a generalist in geopolitics. Either I'm a specialist of MENA region, Middle East and Africa region, or I'm a specialist of the South Asia region, or I'm specialist of Asia Pacific, or I'm specialist of North America or American continent. I need to pick up an area where I need to super specialize. So go into international relations, but do a minor in historical relations of a particular section of the world. And that's where you will become a super specialist in geopolitics.
I think that's very, very prudent advice coming from you, Abhishek. Somebody is writing in that the child has taken home science along with economics and accounts and mass media, and they're asking what can be the career options ahead.
Okay, again, like I said, we need to stop looking that 5 सब्जेक्ट लिए हैं तो पांचों से करियर निकलेगा. ये thought process थोड़ा सा गलत है, right? I mean, if somebody comes to me today and says, यार फिजिक्स का लॉ के साथ कोई रिलेशन है क्या? नहीं है यार. फिजिक्स के अंदर लॉज होते हैं which are laws of physics, but physics and law are two different things altogether, right? So आपने बताया होम साइंस, आपने बताया इकोनॉमिक्स, आपने बताया साइकोलॉजी अपने आप में, और आपने बताया मीडिया एंड कम्युनिकेशन. साइकोलॉजी एंड मीडिया कम्युनिकेशन, a deadly combination we just spoke about. Psychology and economics, behavioral economics, development policy making, developmental economics, deadly combination. We don't need to combine all the subjects and think about कि ओ ये सब्जेक्ट यूज नहीं हो रहा, इसको यूज करके करियर बनाना है. ये तो जिद्दी हो गई. It's not logic, it's जिद, right?
Yes, but parents did कर लेते हैं कई बारी. Anyways, we are coming to some certain skills that are relevant, and careers that are emanating from these skills. So graphic designing is one of those skills. Somebody's popped a question saying that, what are the subjects that I should take so that I can take up graphic designing. I'll leave that to you to answer.
I'll say psychology and design, because graphic designing is, I would actually go a little further into it. Graphic designing will make you do UI and UX research, which is the need of the hour today. Basically, what I'm trying to, and I'm going to simplify it. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, how should a website look so that it's understanding the behavior of the user of the website? How should my app look so that it's free flowing and a user does not have a problem in navigating to the next button, next page? It's prompting the user to take the right action, right? So UI UX research में जाने के लिए you need a great knowledge of psychology and a great knowledge of design. So if you're wanting to go into graphic designing, please do take psychology, because remember, as an artist, you can say, I scribbled and that's an art. You are right, because art has no meaning. It has the meaning what you think is the meaning, right? But as a designer, you can never say, I designed it. I don't care what others feel. You design for a particular audience, right? I'll give a simple example. When my mom goes to, let's say, get her suit designed, and if she says, I need a gota patti on my left shoulder, the designer cannot afford to give it on the right.
Yeah.
Right? So you design for a specific purpose, and that's why psychology and knowledge of human behavior is important. Combine it with design.
Nowadays, we've realized, talking about skills. So children are doing well in designing their own websites, their blogs, their vlogs, they're doing content creation. And another field that children have taken up is cooking, baking. And we have questions coming in the chat box asking, if my child is interested in cooking, then where is the place to go and what all can be done?
Oh, culinary arts is a
Yes.
big thing, right? The entry gate to somebody's heart is through the tongue. So you cook well, and you cook pleasant. It should be looking good. It should be healthy, and you have won the world. I can tell you, a very dear student of mine. I had counseled for over 3 years. He went to Switzerland to study culinary arts, came back, and you would not believe it. He started his own cafe, and a bakery in a very small little tier 2 town. And today he's supplying to all the 5 stars in that entire state.
Oh,
One
wow.
year, 1 year, and he's making crazy money, but he's loving it. So if your child loves cooking, I would say the only thing that I would possibly try and keep in mind is, am I only vegetarian? Not a problem. But if you are sending your child to a culinary arts school, the child will have to deal with all kinds of cuisines, right? So please be, these are certain things which are very practical, but we miss out. Miss out, right? If a child has never touched a non-veg, there is a psychological block, there is a mental block. Now the child will struggle into a culinary arts school, right?
Yes.
So these are very practical things to think about. But if a child is able to handle all kind of food, there are enough and many summer programs nowadays in India. You Google about it, which can teach you variety of the cuisines, or you take the child on a India Brahman, because jitna variety India में और पूरी दुनिया में कहीं नहीं है, right? You start from there, and then you look at, there are multiple schools of culinary arts here in Gurgaon, down south in Bangalore, in Goa, and if you can afford thinking about going abroad, then I would say Switzerland is the best place to study culinary arts.
Yes, yes. And I think sky is the limit. Again, skill-based careers, what a boom we are seeing. If you have the skill, I think you're sitting there because of the skill. And I'm also here because of the skill, communication skills, culinary skills, digital skills, collaborative skills, creativity. All of this is what is required besides the subject knowledge,
Completely
which
agree.
is
I'll tell you one interesting fact when we were talking about culinary arts. Why is that maximum chefs in the kitchen in the hotels and the super chefs and the master chefs, they're all males, right? And why is that? Actually, the best cooks at home are all moms. Do you see that culinary art is a skill? When you enhance it, evolve it, it's a great career for men as well. Who says culinary arts or cooking is only for women? If that was
yes,
true, the best of the chefs and the most of the 5 stars are all men. Why?
yes, Abhishek. Very interestingly, last year I had the opportunity to travel to Chandigarh to a school, and they told me that maximum number of the boy students have taken up home science. So, and we also have the subject cookery.
Absolutely.
So things are changing definitely. Um, Another question about sports psychology. So, if a student has taken up biology, physical education, along with humanities, I'm hoping it's psychology. Uh, is sports psychology a good or a growing option in India? You would.
Absolutely. I would say it's a fastly growing option in India. Uh,
Hmm.
with the privatization of sports, with the leagues coming up, whether it was cricket league, kabaddi league, football league now on the verge of starting, sports psychology as a career has definitely gained some traction already, and we will only see it boom in the future. Only piece of advice that I want to give is there is nothing called bachelor's in sports psychology, ma'am. One has to first understand psychology, then one can get into sports psychology, right? I always say, can I study astrophysics without studying physics? The answer is no. Similarly, I cannot study sports psychology without studying psychology. So the route in India would be a bachelor's in psychology with a master's in sports psychology or a diploma in sports psychology. However, when you go abroad, you do have colleges and universities where you can do psychology with a concentration in sports psychology. So that's possible there at a bachelor's level. Overall, if I tell you, the fact of the matter is that the variety of career options out of humanities, if I start writing, I would say there are 10x more than sciences. So my only request and suggestion to parents and the educators out there is that please start exploring those careers, and please start understanding that careers are not only a byproduct of physics, chemistry, maths, and biology. There are amazing careers out of psychology, sociology, literature, philosophy, and a whole lot more. And once you know that, you will realize that these careers are actually stable. And I will go back to what Dr. Bhavna said. Please understand, thinking that, oh, I can take humanities later on, it's easy peasy, it's not that difficult. Let me tell you, humanities is also not a joke.
Yeah.
Okay. And it is a serious profession. Don't treat it as a part-time job. It's a very, very serious profession.
Yes. So, Abhishek, coming to the serious part, now we must be able to build strong profiles, I believe, if we want to go ahead to pursue careers in humanities and liberal arts. So, what do you suggest? Should students be participating in extracurricular activities? What kind of activities, and how does this profile building help?
Okay. This could be a 2-minute answer if you permit me, because
Please.
profile building takes some time. First of all, we need to understand that participating in extracurriculars is not building profile. One or two random extracurriculars is definitely not building profile. Profile is a story. It's a narrative that you create by participating consistently into a certain set of activities. And before I go there, I will explain how can you actually build profile for a humanities student. Number one, there's something called academic profile. So don't treat humanities, like I said, as a part-time job. It is a serious profession. Love your subjects, study them well, score well in the core subjects which you have taken. Very important. Number two, join the debate club. A debate club or participating in debates is the best possible. And don't think, oh, my child does not speak, so I cannot be a part of debates. Your child will never be able to speak if you do not push the child into debates and allocutions. It's okay to fail. What will happen? He will fail few debates. Big deal. That's also something to celebrate. But what will a debate or a literary club do is build the knowledge base of the child around multiple subjects. Debates happen on economics, they happen on policy, they happen on legal issues, they happen on social issues. And all of a sudden, all your knowledge and expertise builds because you're researching about these areas. Literary club helps you build critical thinking skills, communication skills. MUNs help you build skills around international relations, global politics, communication, collaboration, reading school newspapers. Volunteering gives you an idea how the non-government organization works. So please help them participate in all of this, and all of this counts. Second is, there are very many people say that, oh, my child did not get internship in high school. My question would be, how many internships did you apply to? Because there are so many internships for high schoolers in today's time where they can go and write blogs for a company. All the blogs at Guide AI are actually written by our students. They write research papers which actually get published in student journals. And some of these journals are actually free. A lot of our students who are in grade 11 and 12, they come and intern with us. But these are our students, so they come and intern with us during their summer break or winter break. Internships are available in NGOs. They need people. Youngsters are aware about social media. There are companies who are giving their social media handle to teenagers that, okay, create content because you know the hang of the social media really well. So if you look at all of this is required to build a profile to get into a great humanities career. specifically debates and MUNs, simply because that brings you a holistic purview. I'll also give you an example, because some of you say, how can I actually participate in debates? Now, this is not marketing, but my son is one of the best debaters in the world, and he runs an NGO called the Teen Debater. Now, the Teen Debater is already launched in 250 schools, and the Teen Debater is a free of cost organization where 10,000 students are learning debating and the art of debating from Shivansh. Go and just search the teendebater.com. Go and search the Teen Debater on Instagram, and there are ways and means you'll find how to connect with him or his entire team. And they actually prepare you for debating really, really well. And they do debates on issues which are social to political to geopolitical, you name it, to science, and that really builds up. Start writing blogs, start reading newspapers for a humanities students. Knowledge of the general awareness, what we call it, the knowledge and awareness of what is happening in the world, very critical. Skills to add on in high school. Do some courses, and there are available free courses in digital design. There are free courses on code.org on coding, especially Python. There are courses available on data storytelling. There are courses available on public speaking. And then finally participate in some nice competitions like International Economics Olympiad, International Philosophy Olympiad. There is a essay competition where literature students can participate. It is called John Locke Essay Competition. It's free, mind you. All of this is free, right?
Amazing.
They just need to research well. Now coming to, once you do all of this and you create a unique story. For example, my son's story is, from being one of the best debaters in the world, he started teaching debating to make it democratic, because some activity which was thought it was for the rich is now allowing even a Kendriya Vidyalaya student and a Dhirubhai Ambani student to study and learn debating at the same platform at the same time. That's a story, right? So that's profile building takes time. It takes usually 2 to 3 years, because it's a combination of a lot of extracurricular activities then weaved into a nice story.
Yeah, so I think this is serious business, and parents need to sit down with their children and understand which are those areas where they do want to focus on along with their studies. So it's not just the academic profile. Things like debating and discussion forums and MUNs and all of those are equally important. In fact, at times more important, I believe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So somebody is writing in with a question that my son is interested in basketball and wants a career in the same. So what kind of courses can he take up at school level?
Okay. I would say take any subject as long as your passion is towards basketball. I would say subjects do not matter. You need to score academically well, because, and this is not just with respect to basketball, any sport, if you want to take that sport professionally, my strongest suggestion is build an alternate career, a backup plan first. Keep on playing that sport. And generally, I tell this to all my students, that let's say you're interested in soccer, let's say you're interested in basketball. Find out those universities which has clubs or teams which are well known for basketball or soccer. Go to those universities to study, which would be an alternate career. Continue playing for the university team, because once you play for the varsity teams, you can be recognized and your talent can be seen, and somebody will get you into the club. But putting entire focus only on playing basketball and not focusing on academics is not right. You need to focus on academics, continue your passion for basketball, go to a good basketball coaching or tutoring organization. And I think subjects do not matter. They would only matter in terms of, if sports do not happen, then what? And in case sports is that important, then can I find careers around sports, sports analytics, sports psychology, we talked about, sports media and communication, we talked about. There are so many careers around sports where I can, if I do not become a professional basketball player, I can at least work for a basketball club or a basketball company.
Yes, absolutely, Abhishek. This is the beauty of it all, the subject combinations that we offer. And CISE is taking some very active steps to promote sports students in our ecosystem. We invest a lot in finding them and selecting them and honing their skills and training them and taking them forward through the SGFI and the Kalo games and all of those. We sponsor them. At the same time, the CISC also allows them to take their board examinations at a different schedule. If in case they are busy with their competitions and all, they can take their examinations at a different time than others. We are also looking at bringing in a specialized curriculum for students who are doing well in sports, the ones who are really going ahead. And we have students who are international players and national players. So there are ways and means, but what you just said is the most important thing, that select subjects that would help you to have a plan B, perhaps a plan B which will help you work in a field which is closest to sports, in a field which is aligned with sports of your choice, or at least sports, so that you are kind of in a good space, even when you're not able to perhaps play professionally, since it's very, very competitive out there.
Absolutely, because see, if you're a player yourself, and then you
Mhm.
make a career in sports psychology, you understand what a player thinks. You will be an
Absolutely.
amazing sports psychologist, isn't it? So,
Yes.
I mean, if you could not make it to an international circuit, but imagine your help could make somebody go to an international circuit, right? Your work can make somebody go to an international circuit, and it's so gratifying, right?
Yep, yep, absolutely, absolutely. So I think we've journeyed with the children with the questions that they are posing right now from all kinds of varied to diverse fields. We are moving all around, and so now we come to painting. Somebody has put up a question on visual arts. The student is interested in painting and drawing. So, what kind of subject combinations would help them go ahead in this field?
I would say psychology very important. I would
Hmm.
say sociology very important. I want to tell everybody that art, design are mediums to express what's happening around the world, are mediums to express what's happening in our society, are mediums to create awareness of things which need attention. Art and design are mediums to make lifestyle easy. Art and design are mediums to make living easy. So if you actually look at all of this, if you want to make a career in visual arts, sketching, painting, animation, multimedia, product designing, UI, UX research, understanding of psychology and sociology are really critical. Some of you who are great, because I know, and I'm kind of envious of students of CISC because they're so amazing at languages, which I was never. And I'm not going to say which board I was from, but I can tell you that the moment you combine language and communication with art and design, there is a very amazing career called communication design that one can think of. And I think, yeah, I mean, loads of careers possible the moment you combine English, psychology, sociology, and painting.
I wanted you to talk about communication design. That was my next question to you. That do talk about this new, exciting, amazing field of communication design, and how do you see it panning out? In an arena where AI has taken over.
Okay, so we all can go to AI to write better. Not a problem. Over a period of time, you will be able to train your own agentic AI to write in a manner you write. Rather, if you train it, it can even do the same mistakes that you do. I agree that. However, even to drive an AI, you need a design thinker. You need a person who can give an idea to AI because a human mind is so diverse and it's so complicated that it can think about 20 different things at the same time, right? I'm right now talking to you on a webinar. At the same time, I do have a stress in my mind. Oh, this year is the examination year or the college year for my child. I'm still thinking about what's going to happen at 12 o'clock in my office. A human mind is complex. So to drive the AI, you need people who are design thinkers. And communication design is one such career. It is required in marketing. It is required in internal policy making. It is required in human resource department of the company. Every aspect of communication design is today being used in all the possible silos of an organization. So to answer your question in short and in brief, a great career for the future. Dedicated programs are now being launched. There was a time that you could only study communication design as one subject in designing. But today, we know there are concentrations coming up in designing. Wait and watch, there'll be dedicated majors, masters, and bachelors in communication design.
Yes, yes, that's really exciting. Uh, some of the parents are a little confused about, the student has taken PCM, but is still not sure about what they want to do. And this also links us to our kind of next question and the last question for the session today. That what are the three questions students should ask themselves if they are unsure about choosing humanities in high schools? A student has taken PCM, still unsure what to do. Her aptitude tests are giving varied results, and mass media is one of the subjects that they've taken confusion. So kindly clear the confusion and answer that question.
Okay, first and foremost, if usually and only aptitude test can give varied results, especially if the child is very intelligent and can handle all kinds of subjects, it can give varied results. Or if the child is completely confused, it can give varied results. I have promised CISC that I'm not going to talk about my assessment on the webinar, so I'm not doing that. Having said that, if there is a tremendous confusion, please go and meet a counselor, because a counselor, after having an individual conversation with your child, will be able to deep dive into the aptitude result. Sometimes clinical observation and a talk with the child is far more important than just an assessment. So that's number one. Number two, if the child has taken PCM, I do not know why do we feel that once a subject choice has been done, it's end all and be all. No, it is not. A PCM student can go into multiple careers which are not engineering and pure science careers. प्राइवेट इक्विटी हो गया, इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग हो गया, इकोनॉमिक कंसल्टिंग हो गया, इन सब जगह मैथमेटिक्स का यूज होता है. एंड बेस्ट पार्ट, आपने पीसीएम पढ़ लिया 12th तक और उसके बाद भी आप इको ऑनर्स तो कर ही पाते हो, उसके बाद भी आप बीकॉम ऑनर्स कर ही पाते हो, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि आप नहीं कर पाते हो. सो प्लीज स्टॉप थिंकिंग पीसीएम ले लिया तो पीसीएम में ही रहना है. Just try and find out, is a child good enough to handle certain commerce related careers, humanities related careers, commerce with tech, humanities with tech, interdisciplinary liberal education kind of careers, and you would be sorted. But in this situation, I would say uh, the most ethical and honest answer would be, without meeting the child, I'll not be able to say what should a child do. That will be a very ethical answer, because as a counselor, I'm sitting on a very responsible chair, Dr. Bhavna. I can't make vague and random statements, right?
Absolutely.
Now, to come to your second question, what questions, three questions that somebody can ask themselves or to their counselor before choosing humanities? Number one, what subjects and activities do you truly enjoy? I mean, what fun to study if you're not enjoying studying? It's okay to get less marks, but if you are having fun doing mathematics, I would always keep mathematics because it's adding a happiness portion to my life. I'm not getting marks, big deal. Other subjects are there for me to score. So are you curious about society? Do you watch YouTube videos on history? Do you watch YouTube videos on people or writing or geopolitics? And it will tell you what you love and what subjects you would like to study. Second is, what kind of work or life you want in the future. Are you happy sitting in front of a computer and only doing some kind of coding, typing, research work, or writing documents? Or are you the kind of a person who would love to go out and talk to people, meet people, understand them? So this will help you understand whether you should get into a career which is more storytelling oriented, whether you should get into a career which is law oriented, whether you want to become a public policy maker, you want to become a journalist. It will answer a hell lot of questions. And third is, I think the most important thing that you need to ask yourself is, are you choosing the career for yourself or because of yourself, or you are choosing the career because of somebody's pressure? And if you know deep inside that the answer is that it's somebody's pressure, then my only request is, go and hold the hand of your parents and say, let me be honest, I want to study humanities. I don't want to get into PCM or PCB. And I'm sure your parents will listen.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Parents are there to listen. You need to talk to us. Abhishek, although this would have ended on a very beautiful note, and I'm sure it will, but there is a question that I still want to ask you. Don't want to let you go. Can you please demystify chartered accountancy per se, that anyone can go ahead and do chartered accountancy? It's not specifically, focused coming from a single discipline. Chartered accountancy, company secretaryship, and corporate law. These three, if you could just explain.
Okay, anybody can go and do it, yes. As long as you have passion for taxation, auditing, you should definitely go and look at chartered accountancy. The fundamental difference between chartered accountants and company secretary is chartered accountants are engaged in helping you file your papers of accounting, helping you audit your accounts, and submitting it to the statutory bodies in the manner and the format that is required, and helping you do that with legal ways of tax savings, with legal ways of compliances. Company secretary, on the other hand, is a very compliance oriented role where you are making documents, where you are ensuring that your company is functioning in accordance with the company law, in accordance with the statutory requirements, in accordance with the taxation requirements. It is not a specific role related to finance. It could have a broader implications of of more areas other than just finance. Uh, Corporate law is something where which you want to study, where you want to save your client from going to the court of law. You want to save your client from being sued in the court of law. A lawyer's job is not to fight the case. It is one of the jobs, but 99% of the job of a lawyer is to save your client for ending up being sued. So these are three different, very different roles. I would just tell you that March 2025, the pass percentage of CA foundation, I think, was about 15%. CA intermediate and final put together was again about 16, 17%. There are about 3.5 lakh CAs right now. Over 10 lakh students have already enrolled for CA programs. Majority of the times, if your child is only doing CA because that was the only career I thought of, and you know that the child is not mentally tough to handle the rigor and to handle multiple failed attempts. I'm yet to see a CA who clears all the attempts in one go. Personally, I'm sure there are, but I have not personally met. Every time I meet somebody, they say I've taken two attempts at inter, 3 attempts at finals, and I've seen that. So what you need is a strong mental outlook where if you fail, you say, fail, try again. Because majority of the times what happens is, Dr. Bhavna, 95% of the students, they give up on their journey of a CA and CS just because they failed a couple of times.
Yes.
So it's a very difficult course to get through. It is not easy. It's a very serious profession. Um a part of CA's job will get impacted by AI and taxation softwares, but CAs will still be required, CSs will still be required, company lawyers will still be required. All three of them are very different roles altogether.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for the insights that you've given us today and the hope that you've given us today on the wonderful, wonderful journeys that lie ahead of for our students who have taken up humanities and commerce subjects in class 9, 10th, 11th, and 12th. We will await the next session that we have with you next Friday, which is going to be on international admissions. Do have a good day ahead, Abhishek, and have a great day. All the students, all the teachers and parents who've joined us today, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bhavna. Lovely speaking to you.
Same.